Please be seated. Deputy Chancellor, graduates, guests, members of the university community, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Bill Patterson, University Secretary and Director of Governance. Graduations are one of the university's most important events, and we are delighted to be able to resume ceremonies in 2022. On occasion, the university seeks to honour individuals who have made extraordinary impacts upon society through the contributions they have made. Today, the university will bestow an honorary award upon one such individual. I would now like to introduce to you the official party who are here on stage. Seated at the centre of the stage is Dr. John Laker, AO, Deputy Chancellor of the University, who will preside over this ceremony. The Deputy Chancellor is joined today by Professor Andrew Parfitt, Vice Chancellor and President, Mr. Robert Coombe, our honorary award recipient, who will also deliver the occasional address, Professor Carl Rhodes, Dean of the UTS Business School, who will be presenting graduates. The other people seated on stage are Professor Joanne Gray, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Education and Students, Mr. Richard Howes, Member of the University's Council, Professor Tony Dooley, Chair of Academic Board, professors, academics and professional staff from faculties and institutes who have played such a large part in the success of today's graduates. I would also like to acknowledge a member of staff graduating today, Eleanor Tong. It now gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. John Laker, AO, Deputy Chancellor, to formally open proceedings.
Graduands, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In the name of the Council, I declare this congregation of the University of Technology, Sydney, duly assembled. On behalf of the University of Technology, Sydney, before we begin the proceedings, and on behalf of all those present, I would like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional owners on the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It is upon their ancestral lands that UTS stands. Similarly, I would also like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this place. In this graduation ceremony, we will celebrate the conferral of awards upon graduates from the UTS Business School. Today's ceremony marks a great achievement for the graduates and recognises the support which they have received from family and friends, many of whom are here today. We warmly welcome you, and together we celebrate the achievement of the graduates. I now ask Professor Andrew Parfitt, Vice-Chancellor and President, to present a candidate for admission as a Fellow of the University.
Deputy Chancellor, the Council of the University established the honour the Fellow of the University to be made in recognition of an outstanding contribution to the University's objectives. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Mr. Robert Coombe. Mr. Robert Coombe has over 40 years of corporate experience in the Asia Pacific, where his career has been primarily in the banking and financial services sectors. Over the years, he has been driven by the opportunity to work with people with shared values that present the opportunity to facilitate change and transformation. Mr. Coombe graduated with a Bachelor of Laws honours from UTS. It was the opportunity to study and his experience at UTS that made him such a strong supporter and ally of the university. Mr. Coombe has had an extensive career. He was Chief Executive Officer of BT Financial Group from 2004 to 2010, Group Executive of Retail and Business Banking at Westpac, and from 2013 to 2019, CEO, then Chair, of Craveable Brands, the largest Australian-owned quick service restaurant business. Mr. Coombe's leadership and management expertise has been acknowledged by the broader business community, as shown by the range of board positions he has held. He is currently the Executive Chair of Colonial First State, the Chair of Tibra Capital since 2018, the Chair of Generation Life since 2017, and the Chair of Expert 360 since 2021. He is also a Board Director of CIMB Group, one of the largest universal banks in the ASEAN region, where he has also chaired the Sustainability and Risk Committees. Mr. Coombs' service and commitment to UTS is seen most clearly in his involvement with the Faculty of Law. Between 2011 and 2018, he served on the Faculty Advisory Board. He was instrumental in helping the faculty clarify its identity and distinctiveness and refine its strategy and key performance indicators. Despite a very demanding career, Mr. Coombs volunteered as a member in the Faculty of Law's High Achievers Programme, as well as speaking regularly at faculty events and graduation ceremonies. He has also been a generous donor to the Law Equity Scholarship, securing the endowment of the programme with a donation in 2019. He was a recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Excellence and the Law Alumni Award in 2011. He has flourished in business and has always sought to give back to ensure that others from similar backgrounds can access education. Outside of UTS and his corporate career, Mr. Coombs undertakes significant community service, including as Deputy Chair of Surfing Australia and Director of the Australian Indigenous Education Foundation and a member of AIEF's investment committees. The AIEF provides scholarships and educational pathways for Indigenous students. It's a great honour for the University of Technology Sydney to confer Mr. Robert Coombs with the award of Fellow of the University in recognition of his outstanding service to business, the community and the university. Deputy Chancellor, in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the university, I ask that you admit Robert Coombs as a Fellow of the University honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I admit Robert Coombs as a Fellow of the University honoris causa. I now invite Professor Carl Rhodes, Dean of the UTS Business School, to present graduates.
Deputy Chancellor, I invite graduates in the UTS Business School to stand. Deputy Chancellor, the UTS Council has resolved that candidates recommended to it by the Faculty Board Business as eligible for awards have completed all requirements of a course of study approved by the boards and has conferred these awards upon them. Deputy Chancellor, I now present those graduates from the UTS Business School who are here before you to acknowledge the awards for which they have qualified.
On behalf of the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I congratulate graduates on their achievements in obtaining the awards for which they have qualified.
Graduates, please be seated. Deputy Chancellor, UTS Business School conducts innovative research across all major business disciplines. Our aim is to produce research which is not only academically excellent, but also knowledge that impacts the world in which we live. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you graduates receiving research degrees. The following students have graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy. Jikai Chen, for a thesis entitled Applications of Machine Learning in Accounting Research, supported by a supervisory panel that included the Principal Supervisor, Professor Stephen Taylor, and Co-Supervisor, Professor Yaowen Shen. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Zikai Chen. Also graduating with the Doctor of Philosophy, Christina Voyoda, for a thesis entitled The Determinants and Economic Consequences of Referrals to the Australian Takeovers Panel. The work was supported by a supervisory panel that included Principal Supervisor Professor Michael Budgeya and co-supervisors Associate Professor Heron Spiropoulos and Associate Professor Anna Bedford. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Christina Voyoda. Deputy Chancellor, we now present to you our coursework graduates receiving awards today.
The following students have graduated with a Master of Business Administration: Rochelle Shalini da Silva, Master of Digital Marketing, Nicola Botel, Jacqueline Rose de Clare, Bridget Mary Fitzsimmons, Master of Marketing, Qian Yu Chen, Rebecca Harrison, Yuan Li, Man Tang Lo, Leonard Sabijon Palad, Emily Jane Victoria Perry, Elisenda Picard Valls, Mohammed Arif Ramadan, Alex Scott Reed, Mary Josephine Surek, Master of Professional Accounting, Pranto Chakrabarti. Elena Cheng. Berna Salve Dilera. Kong Hunter. Alvin Michael Isharianto. Chen E. Liu. Dheeraj Panchal. Shuvra Rani Shaha. Mark Anthony Souters. Eleanor Tong. Zhongwan Wang. Zhao Xu. Mario Zerez. Graduate Diploma in Marketing with Distinction, Nancy Bui. Olivia Emily Joan Reed. Bachelor of Accounting with Credit, Christopher Lavels. Bachelor with Distinction and Diploma in Innovation, Konstantina Sozeridis. Bachelor of Business with Distinction, Celeste Victoria Dorothy Austin Cray. Zachary Badenoch. Mina Jilani. Eloise Marie Pearl Hall. Lauren Jackson. Rahul Jain. Jason Kyle Ledent. Marissa Liganares. Diana Miracola. Lachlan Sinclair Morgan. Victor Eng. Tan Chan Nguyen. Nicholas Ray Soebianto. Taylor Jane Stokes. Leonora Sylvain Werner. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Agnes. Nathan Albanese. Jasmine Angelia. Ethan Patrick Bush. Edward Chen. Declan De Bono. Hayley Hariklia Dedes. Christopher Duong. Jonathan Duong. William Findley. Nathan Giampaoli. Ahmad Jarar. Vinod Karuna Zinger. Vionda Christie. Ming Lei Lin. Geliane Li Tong. Christopher Tai Luong. Aswat Hashrin Hakwe Maisha. Shankara Mikhailian. Louise Nguyen. Tiffany Nguyen. Cleodora Natania Utomo. Subin O. Liang Liang Ouyang. Jake Bruce Pepper. Vanessa Parisi. Kristen Pereira. Christine Angelique Rhodes. Michael Rivandry. Katie Wing Ki Sum. Sarah Elizabeth Toll. Maya Mi Dim Chan. Christopher John Joaquim. Xue Wen Wang. Nader Youssef. Meng Xue Zhang. Shiman Zhang. Yifan Zheng. Bachelor of Business, Angelina Elenise Brodelau. Miranda Kunanan. Phi Long Hai Zuan. Andrew Peter Himmelhock. Eshna Karan. Zhuo Jing Li. Christina T. Tui Chang Mao. Kai Ozawa. Matthew Edward Renshaw. Lily Karen Ricardo. Yuxing Wang. Albert Xian. Min Xie. Jia Qi Zhang. Raymond Zhong. Zachary Angelo Zulo. Bachelor of Business with Distinction, Lei Suite Fan. Bachelor of Business with Credit, Cici Liu. Master of Professional Accounting, Jie Ying Chen. Zhipeng Zhang.
Deputy Chancellor. This concludes the presentation of graduates.
This is a solemn and very important occasion, graduation, but it's also a celebration. Now, cheering is not prohibited, cheering is not mandatory, but these people have worked very hard and I think they deserve a very wholehearted cheer of congratulations. So let it rip and let's really show the graduates how proud we are of them. Where were you all before? To the graduates, today in our great hall you have graduated from one of the world's top 10 young universities. Young because UTS is yet to reach its 50th birthday. But the ceremony of graduation itself is one of the world's oldest, dating back 800 years to the establishment of the first European universities in the 12th century. Then you would have been taking your exams in Latin. Your graduation cap and gown are adapted from the attire of medieval clerics who taught at those universities. But then you would have worn that gown every day simply to keep warm in damp and unheated halls of learning. Graduation is indeed a great tradition and, as I said, a special celebration. As it should be, because graduation marks an important milestone in your lives. The word graduation comes from the Latin gradus, meaning step, and today you take a further significant step in your professional and personal development. University study, while we all know it has its fun, requires a strong commitment to hard work and long hours. Inevitably, too, it involves sacrifices, whether they be immediate career opportunities, family and social life, or for many of you, the familiarity of your own country. And what has been particularly tough for your graduating class has been the unprecedented disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic. For 2 years, lockdowns and other public health responses brought campus life to an end, isolated you in bedrooms rather than libraries or tutorial rooms, shattered your plans for studies abroad. This was not the university experience you expected, and I, for one, sincerely regret that. But you have pulled through magnificently. You are graduates today, not just of this university, but of that other fine educational institution, the School of Hard Knocks. Your resilience, your commitment will be amply rewarded as you apply your new skills and insights in your professional life, but today, the satisfaction of completing a high calibre degree under such difficult circumstances is reward in itself. Enjoy that sense of satisfaction, you've earned it. For all the parents, partners and friends here today as well, this is an occasion of great pride. You have lived through the stresses the graduates have faced. You have all given them your support and encouragement, and I am sure that they would want to acknowledge that. So could I ask the graduates to stand, face their family and friends, and give them too a rousing round of applause, because they too have earned it. Thank you. Not quite as rousing as the parents and friends, but not bad for business graduates, I suppose. The world that you as graduates are entering is a complex and challenging one. The new normal in the wake of COVID-19 is still evolving, but it is an exciting world. The workplace has become more flexible than ever before. Change is a constant. Digital disruption has become a powerful force. Artificial intelligence is progressing rapidly. New industries are emerging based on global data platforms that are reshaping the way we live, work and communicate. The so-called Great Resignation, spurred by COVID-19 for others, is a world of opportunities for you. This world is a far cry from the staid, ordered and insular one we baby boomers entered. Then, a comfortable job for life with a large employer was seen by many as an entitlement. Your generation, however, will want to test your skills with a number of employers, small and large, at home and abroad. Some of you will even create the organisations in which you work, if you haven't already done so. For you, a job for life might sound like a life sentence. The energies you have devoted to your studies can now be unleashed into today's exciting world. Take the challenges on with enthusiasm, inspire your colleagues, and bring your newfound skills and talent into play. Your time at UTS will have prepared you well. Employers have a high regard for UTS graduates because of your ability to adapt and innovate, to work collaboratively with people of different viewpoints and backgrounds, and to cope with pressure and tight deadlines. In a competitive world, UTS graduates are very employable. You now join an outstanding group of UTS alumni, some 240,000 strong throughout the world. Reach out to this network when you can. Many of the alumni can be helpful to you in your future careers. And please stay in touch with UTS. Our alumni office is your lifelong connection to UTS, so please keep them up to date on your movements. Of course, your time as a student may not end today. This rapidly changing world will require you to refresh your existing knowledge and acquire new knowledge again and again throughout your careers. Society is transforming to a lifetime of learning to keep pace with change, and UTS is in the forefront of this transformation. Drawing on its close links with industry and its excellent research, UTS is introducing new courses and programs that will support learning and professional skills development for our individuals throughout their whole lives. We hope to see you again in this great hall. Your graduation also comes at a time when humanity is facing some profound global challenges beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. Climate change, the scourge of terrorism, the tragic human tide of refugees, inequalities in their many unwelcome forms, and now the horrors of war. And a challenge that may touch your professional life more directly, the loss of public trust around the globe in major institutions, whether in finance, media, or just simply big business. The causes of this loss of trust are complex, but moral and ethical failures are at the core. And this, graduates, is where you come in. You leave here today as the pride of this university, as the flag bearers for the next generation of bright minds and responsible citizens. Can I suggest you make the values of trust, honesty, and integrity the guiding beacons for your future development as professionals? How do you do this? Well, let me offer you 3 simple pieces of advice. Firstly, choose your employer wisely. You are part of a new generation that is demanding higher ethical standards from organisation, a generation that believes it has a responsibility to make society better rather than to leave it to others or to the future. Satisfy yourself that trust and a clear purpose of contributing value to society are part of the ethos of any organisation you join. Secondly, identify the values that are important to you and live them in the way you conduct yourself in the workplace and outside. Take personal accountability for your actions and be willing to be judged by them. Speak up, but be ready to be challenged. At times when you are not sure what to do, bring your own strong moral compass to bear on your decisions and do what you believe is right. Do yourselves, your family, and your university proud by maintaining the highest professional and ethical standards. The best advice I can give you finally is that you make your word your bond. There is no more powerful demonstration of your integrity than that you honour your word. Nothing more and nothing less. I leave you with a thought from the philosopher St. Augustine. Quote, "To ask the question, what do I want to be remembered for, is the beginning of adulthood," he said. The management guru Peter Drucker, quoting St. Augustine, says, "If you think you can answer it in your 20s, you have not yet understood the question. If you cannot answer it by the time you are 50, you have wasted your life." And on that challenging note, let me once again congratulate our new graduates on your success. Our best wishes and pride go with each and every one of you. Your degree will open up opportunities for you in any number of roles. Seize them in both hands and do well. Thank you. I now invite Mr. Robert Coombe, Fellow of the University, to deliver the occasional address.
Deputy Chancellor, fantastic presentation, very wise words. I wish I'd have heard them, or maybe I did hear them at the beginning of my career. I wish I'd have listened to them, but well said today. I'd like to acknowledge and express my deep gratitude for this honour to the Deputy Chancellor of UTS, Dr. John Laker, also to the Vice-Chancellor, Andrew Parfitt, also the Dean of the UTS Business School, Professor Carl Rhodes, University Secretary and Director of Governance, Bill Patterson, and distinguished members of the faculty. I want to warmly welcome all guests, graduates, family and friends. I wanted to do a shout out to my wife and my daughter up the front here, Natalie and Lily, and also acknowledge the exceptional wisdom, counsel and support that Natalie has given me throughout my career. It's definitely made a profound impact. I'd also like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land in which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are present here today. Now, it's a great honour to be recognised by UTS, an institution I've been associated with now for over 40 years. In fact, when I first started studying law at UTS, it wasn't officially a university, and that wasn't a status it acquired till 1988. I first started studying in the old law campus. Was a building on George Street called the Anthony Horden Building. There won't be many people here who remember that building. It was demolished in the 80s, and rightfully so, because it was a rabbit warren of corridors and rooms and so on, and we were constantly paranoid back then if a fire broke out that it'd be a death trap for everyone that was studying in there. I certainly think we've come a long way from there, and you should be incredibly proud of graduating from a university that's recognised as the top 10 young universities in the world. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was coming back to Sydney from a very busy day in Melbourne, and during the downtime on the plane, I started to think about what could I say today of interest to such an outstanding group of individuals such as yourselves. The pressure was on me to prepare something insightful in the 8 minutes that's been allotted to me today. I was also, and I'm already 1.5 minutes into it as well, I was also kind of conscious that I'm the last person between you and whatever celebrations you're going to do next, so I promise to be very punchy. As I reflected on my career, I realised the proudest part of it is not what I've done, but rather I was proud of the achievements of the people that have worked for me over the years who have gone on to big and better things. I started to write a list of people who had gone on to careers as CEOs or chairs of businesses domestically or internationally, and I ran out of puff when I hit 40 names. Coincidentally, the first name on that list was a very recent recipient of a UTS fellowship, the founder of the Australian Indigenous Education Foundation, Andrew Penfold, who was actually the first person I ever hired when I was 23 and he was only 20 years of age. Now, as I was writing down these names, I wondered what it was these people had in common, and I'm definitely not arrogant enough to think that I created all this talent, but I obviously had an eye for potential. So I asked myself, what was the primary attributes of each of these individuals that helped them build out incredible careers? And as many of you are at the beginning of your careers or you're building your careers, I thought I'd share with you these reflections in the hope that there's something here that you can relate to or utilise. Now, the first of these common attributes is curiosity. Many times in my career, I've interviewed people with impeccable CVs. They've had great tertiary qualifications, have worked for pedigree institutions and progressed up the corporate ranks. But I won't necessarily hire them, not because they are pretty good, but because they think they're pretty good. In my experience, many people cap out at a relatively young age as they start to close off their mind to a lifetime journey of self-improvement. They become less curious and more satisfied. I'd rather hire someone with less pedigree and more curiosity. These people have more runway, or in other words, capacity to improve. They will keep getting better and better and leave the more satisfied ones behind. So today, as you finish your amazing degrees at UTS, don't let this be the end, but rather the beginning of a lifetime of continuous curiosity. The second thing I found in this group of 40 that they had in common was this attribute of self-actualisation. This means the ability to be able to constantly reflect on your own strengths and weaknesses. Like curiosity, self-actualisation is a personal development technique that allows you to focus on what you need to keep getting better. So my tip to you is that every time you work on something that maybe didn't go to plan, or conversely, something that was incredibly successful, take the time to reflect on what did or didn't work. It's kind of akin to turning your brain into an ongoing AI machine, which will guarantee that you'll continue to get better and better. The third thing I found in common with this successful group of executives is the desire to make a difference. I've always looked to hire talent who were motivated by changing things for the better. Now, this is an extremely difficult road to challenge. It's not an easy road to challenge because as you try and make things better, often that road is sprinkled with failure. Unfortunately, there is a lot of stigma in Australia around failure. In other countries, it's almost worn as a badge of honour. I was recently in San Francisco and I met an entrepreneur from Israel, a country which is globally known for its innovative tech sector. He was telling me that the biggest weekly event in Tel Aviv is F-Up Night. That's the night that all the entrepreneurs come along and talk about their failures and what they learnt from it. As he said to me, you can't strive to change things for the better without failure being a near and apparent danger. Of course, the trick is to fail quickly, make sure that your mistake is not fatal, and obviously learn from your mistakes. The fourth thing I found, and this is something that John mentioned as well, it's a really, really important value of mine and also the successful people that have worked for me. And this is around personal accountability. It's actually a really important one, but it's rarer than you would think it would be. When I was very young, I was struck by an old saying. I don't know why, but it really resonated with me at the time. And the saying was, if you think there's a problem, it's probably you. So if you think there's a problem, it's probably you. This is counterintuitive for a lot of people who find it easier to blame or find an excuse when something goes wrong. However, those that are full of excuses generally never innovate and improve because they end up letting themselves off the hook rather than pressing themselves to find a solution. Finally, I found that people are more successful if they have clarity of thinking, easier said than done. I think clarity is one of the most important tools a business leader can have at their disposal. The individuals I've worked with who have all gone on to bigger things have all had clarity of thought and communication, which has held them in good stead to be the effective leader of others. So these attributes that were the things that most of the future leaders had that worked for me: curiosity, self-actualisation, the desire to make a difference, personal accountability, and clarity of thinking. Now, there were two things I did that stimulated performance amongst this group. It was probably more than a couple of things, but two things in particular. And there's no coincidence that these are represented in the core values and character of UTS. The first of these is empowerment, a core UTS value. Talent is attracted by being given the freedom to perform at their best. This obviously includes the freedom to make mistakes as well. The second ingredient, and again, this is a really important personal value, but it's ensuring that there's an environment of meritocracy, which translates into diversity, another character trait of UTS. When I look back on that list of 40, a sizable number of them were women. Many came from a wide range of personal circumstances, different cultures, including some from very, very challenged backgrounds. I'm proud I created an environment that brought the best out in these amazing people. Hey, thank you everyone for your attention today. Good luck and all the best in your careers ahead. Thank you.
Graduations are among the most important occasions in the life of a university, and we're very privileged at UTS to have some of the most distinguished members of our community speak to graduates on that occasion. And today Mr. Coombe reflected on his career and reflected on the achievement of developing others, a really key skill for all of you in the future. And in developing that recipe, the reflections of being curious, reflecting on your strengths and weaknesses, making a difference but being prepared to fail and learn, embracing accountability and developing deep thinking could not provide a better set of guideposts. There are many things to learn from others, and we will always keep learning when we have role models and examples like Mr. Coombe. Would you join me in thanking again Mr. Coombe for today's occasional address?
Deputy Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, that occasional address concludes the formal proceedings of this ceremony. The academic procession is about to leave the Great Hall. Would the congregation please rise for the academic procession?